today with Tony and Sam from The Humble Herb. Would you like to tell everybody a little bit about what you do and why you started this?
Okay, do you want to start about what we do and I'll say why we started it?
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, what we do is we make CBD balms that are infused with essential oils. The CBD balms, we've got a selection and they've grown up over the years, and Sam will go into a bit more about how they came about and why we end up with 4. But we've got 2 that are quite punchy. They've got over 1,000 milligrams of CBD in a 30ml tin, and then the other 2 have 500 in a 30ml tin, and then the essential oils really complement that CBD. So that's predominantly what the products are, and then obviously we get them out into retailers and different partners. That's how we work.
And basically how it started, I've had a number of ailments, pain being one of them. I've got ME, and I was looking at something other than pharmaceutical to help me with the pain. I started with a balm, just experimenting, putting different essential oils with CBD a few years ago now, and I was giving them to friends and family as well as using them myself, and people were saying, I've had a great result with this, can I have some more? So I've been doing that for years, and then I made one, I changed the essential oils, and my daughter had eczema, and we were using it on her eczema with good results. Same, my dad's got rosacea and on his face, so we were getting good results. Just swapping the essential oils, basically using different strengths of CBD, and that's how they came about. It was just friends and family, and they kept coming back to us. And about a year ago, Tony said to me, we need to get these out to market because they are helping so many people. And that's how the Humble Herb was born, basically. So I'm the cook, and Tony's the marketing. So
That's brilliant. So everything, here in front of us now, all of that you've made yourself.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm the
cook.
cook.
Brilliant.
I think the interesting thing is, I mean, Sam went first with the whole natural healing sort of stuff, and of course I was sitting there going, what are you doing? We've got doctors, and you get your prescription, and it all works a treat. And it's only when you started delving into it that you realise the power of some of the natural elements, and actually some of the challenges that some of these synthetic drugs can bring.
Oh, definitely, and I found that with ME. You
did, and again, when you had certain scenarios crop up, the consultants that were involved at particular stages really looked at you as if you were completely bonkers when you talked about the natural side of things, and yet the impact, the positive impact of the natural stuff was far in excess sometimes of the sort of negative effects of some of the...
I found with having ME that basically pharmaceutical drugs didn't agree with me at all. They made me really poorly. So it's just looking the natural route, and it's not just balms. I mean, it's everything natural. And there is so much out there. So it is a whole new chemist, the natural supplements.
But you started initially with essential oils, didn't you? And
essential oils.
Good quality essential oils.
Yeah.
And we blended those.
Yeah, because with their anti-inflammatory.
And then the CBD sort of sprung from that as well, and then the combination really.
Yeah.
Yes, the CBD I know is a natural anti-inflammatory, so that would really help. And then add in the essential oils, because I know you've got 4 different balms here, and they will all do something slightly different with the essential oils mixed in, which is brilliant. Could you tell us a little bit about the 4 different balms that you have and the differences between them?
Yeah, shall I go through, or do you want to go through that?
You go.
Okay, well, starting on this side, we've got the Calm, which is sort of the purple. The box. The Calm is really to deal with anxiety, sleep challenges, that sort of thing, stress, and those sort of things. Again, some of these elements and ingredients and combinations have grown out of what people fed back to us early days and while you were experimenting. So, for example, there's one chap who springs to mind. And so, I mean, Sam always carries these little tins around in her handbag. And if someone says, I've got this ailment, straight away in goes the handout.
That's a good thing about a lady's handbag.
Sometimes
You'll
the
never
wrong
know
thing comes
what's in
out.
there.
You've always got something for every occasion.
Yeah.
But the calm came out on this particular occasion, and try this. And this particular individual was getting, his term was stress headaches, in front of a computer a lot, all day. About 12 o'clock, found he got real bad headaches. And we just said, look, rub it on the temple, just when that occurs. And he just came back and said, that's made such a difference. He said, I don't know if it's a placebo effect or if it just... Now, a lot of people say that, in fairness, don't they? They try it, it works, and they go, I think it was just coincidence. So when they stop using it, they realise it wasn't a coincidence.
Yeah.
But he tried that, and so the calm is around, just really relaxing. And of course, the combination of CBD, the active ingredient, along with some of the lavender, for example, and that sort of thing that's contained within that, has that sort of entourage effect, for want of a better terminology, sort of the whole thing coming together. So that's the calm. The ease, which is the second one on the green, that was about the skin. That was really came from
eczema and psoriasis. We've had great results.
Absolutely, and again,
people trying that rather than steroid creams, which sometimes cause them to flare up even more. Especially my dad, for example.
Yeah, and there was a lady, we were doing a small exhibition, and the lady that came along to, funnily enough, sell us the space for the exhibition, was talking about she had psoriasis,
and her son really badly.
Terrible round her ear and across her face, and her son was on chest. And again, in goes the hand into the magic bag. So look, take some of this and just try it. And I mean, we saw her at the exhibition. She said it's unbelievable. It's all gone.
And they'd been on steroid creams and all sorts.
So it kind of, and this is natural stuff. I mean, and that's the beauty of it, because we say to people, if it doesn't work for you, you're in no different a position, but nothing bad will have happened. But if you try it and it works, well, what's that worth, kind of thing? It's amazing, isn't it? So then the next one along, I think, is the Mend. I'm looking over the top there. Yep, it is. There you go. The Mend's it's a real popular one.
That was the original. Point. The original balm.
Yeah, this is a serious sort of
pain.
Kit butt coverall. It can, been there, seen, done it. It doesn't matter if it's a sore throat and you're rubbing it on sort of glands here. In fact, someone even hay fever. Do you remember? And popped it under their nose. But then anywhere there's any sort of aches, pains,
arthritic fingers,
gardening,
knees that need replacing.
Oh, there was. What about the guy who
couldn't get out of the chair because he needs a knee replacement? Again, magic handbag. Try this.
But to the extent where his wife had to help him
get up off the chair. He tried it. It took about 3 or 4 days of constantly putting it on 3 or 4 times a day. And he said about the 5th day, he could get out the chair. And he said it was brilliant. And he said then he ran out. And then the pain came back. Yeah. So, he hot-footed it round for something else out my handbag. But no. So,
that one you can see a real difference. That's got turmeric in, hasn't it?
Yeah, you see the colour of that. It's very yellow. So,
But that's a super powerful one.
Yeah, it is a good, powerful one.
Yeah, that sort of does everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then Sport is kind of does what it says on the tin, really. It's similar, sort of sibling to Mend, isn't it?
Yeah, you can sort of alternate between Mend and Sport, really, can't you?
Yeah. I use Sport a lot.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's good for cramps and things, doesn't it?
Yes.
And aching muscles
in the middle of the night.
Middle of the night cramp.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah.
And it's funny because when Sam was first making these and messing around with the different things, came up with Sport, and of course they're always about, and I'm always nosy and help prepare or told what to do and where to put the sticks, that sort of thing. But I had a dodgy ankle. It was one of those where you got up in the morning and you probably couldn't take the weight. But I thought, well, it's just one of those things, and once you get walking, it's fine. But it wasn't getting better, and I thought, I'm gonna sneak some of this Sport and see how it works. And honestly, it was just like. I mean, the words I used were like being touched by God, wasn't it? But it was, but I thought, no way, this is amazing. It was just honestly instantaneous. It's absolutely so.
And we do
true.
get that feedback a lot.
We do, we do. So one more example would be, there's a few people I can think about. The lady with the guy, you'll have to say, plantar fasciitis.
fasciitis.
There you go. That's a
it?
better. That's a better version.
Where it's like you're walking on Lego, isn't it?
Yeah. And the lady in question, she was told that she'd
had it 2 years,
and it got to stay.
and she was in agony. And they'd said, "Oh, we might even think about cutting the tendons in your legs." So I said, "Magic handbag again. Try this one."
That was the mend, wasn't it?
Yeah, and she phoned me the next day. She said, "Oh my God," she said, "it is so much better." So, and we've had someone else with the same ailment come back to us and say, "Oh my God, I'm a runner, and this has allowed me to go running again, whereas I was struggling to walk on my foot." So, yeah, and she said, what did she say? It's like a miracle, didn't she?
Yeah.
She spoke to you. So, yeah, and it's just the power of nature. So,
I mean, that's the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I use CBD personally, and the same as you, prescription medications weren't working. I struggled to find anything that was helping with the pain. The plantar
fasciitis, yeah,
I
that
can't
one.
even say it.
No, me neither.
See, I suffer with that in the mornings, and I wake up and it's like I've been on my feet all night.
Right.
And I do struggle with my feet a lot. But because of my other condition, I don't have much of an arch in one of my feet as well.
Right.
It's almost completely flat, and the pain that I get with that foot is horrendous. But using the CBD, I put it on before I go to bed and after I've had a shower in the morning, depending how I am throughout the day. And it really does help. It helps with the inflammation, it helps with the pain that I get in my feet and my legs. And another thing I suffer with as well is restless leg syndrome. That is horrendous. But I have found that using CBD on my legs, I mean, last night I didn't sleep very well, but I kind of got up out of bed, put a bit of CBD on the bottom of my feet and on the back of my calves, and a few minutes later my legs relaxed. I didn't have that feeling of wanting to kick out or move my legs, and it almost completely gone. So I understand wholeheartedly how CBD can help with pain and how it can help with these ailments that you get. It's incredible stuff.
Yeah, it really
is.
I think it's definitely worth mentioning because whenever we mention CBD to people or potential retailers, whatever, a lot of people go straight down, it's drugs. Oh my goodness, I can't possibly do that. We often talk about the fact that people quite happily take a synthetic drug, whether it's an aspirin or whether it's a paracetamol or certainly ibuprofen or anything even stronger than that. Don't even look at the big leaflet that comes with all the side effects, and yet you say a natural CBD balm, they go, oof, I'm not going to go there. What are you trying to? So it's worth people understanding the fact that the CBD is the sort of, as you say, anti-inflammatory, the calming elements.
It's just all natural.
It's the THC that gives people the high sort of thing, and of course that's all extracted from the product, our CBD that goes into the balms. So there is no sort of, I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, there's no high. There's no chance of people kind of getting crazy and what have you.
And the balms don't go into your bloodstream. They're topically applied.
That's right.
So it doesn't affect if you're taking other medications.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's changing that stigma and changing people's perceptions on CBD and how it can actually help you and how you think about it. Because like you said, people see CBD, they see the marijuana leaf and they're like, oh my goodness, no, take it away from me.
That's right.
It's drugs, it's bad, it's
how we've been indoctrinated, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's all to do a lot with the media, and how they have kind of pushed it to the public of it's drugs.
Quack medicine.
Go and get something prescribed because that's better for you. The more natural you go and the more you use CBD, like you said, the more you use it, the more it's going to help you. But as soon as you stop using it, that is when you notice the difference.
Definitely.
That is when you feel the difference within your body of all of those ailments creeping back in. But keeping it in your system, topically or with oils or with, the flowers, that's how you're going to keep it in your system.
Yeah, and it's an ongoing thing. You're absolutely right. It's not something you don't just use it once and that's it.
Well, you don't, if you want pain relief and you're taking paracetamol, you don't just take one, do you?
No.
You have to take
you
it
take
for,
them.
continuously.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's definitely that side of things for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think as well if you look at another thing we've been asked is supporting evidence about how can you tell us or show us that this has been fully tested, whatever. Well, what we can show is we've had the safety certificates done and so on and so forth, so that it's been deemed safe for human use and all that sort of thing. But of course, the reality is to do any meaningful tests, actual sort of controlled, it costs sort of minimum £1 million or something to do, and it's got to be in a controlled environment. Now, the only people or organisations that have the money to do those tests are Big Pharma, and of course they reap the rewards as well. Whereas with something like this, there's no money in it for them because it's natural products, so they're not going to do the tests on this, and so consequently you haven't got that confirmation from the labs as such. There's some starting, and there's no point in us doing it. Well, one, because we haven't got the £1 million to do it, but also then everyone would say, well, you did the test, Tony and Sam, so you're bound to say
come up
it's
with
really
the
good.
results. Yeah.
So it's kind of a bit of a chicken and egg type thing. But NHS Scotland have started doing some testing around CBD in particular, and of course, and then they're getting some positive results from that. But of course, what we do know is anecdotally, we know this stuff helps, and we know the results because people tell us, and almost for us, that's people keep coming back and giving good news, and so that's really good. And the sad thing about that in some ways is, just like the educational piece and you were saying about the media, the actual challenges we've had in not just getting this to market, but being supported through this. So a simple example is Meta, who run Facebook and Instagram. You can't sell CBD on those platforms. You certainly can't put an advert out there and blatantly say CBD. Just not having it. We were the payments that we took online for our products were stopped on 2 occasions by large companies who just said it's CBD. No, we're not accepting payments for that. So we had to find someone that understood CBD as opposed to the THC levels or what have you, and understood what we were trying to do to take payments. But so it feels a little bit like everything's against you, and it's a real shame because the results that people keep coming back to us with for a natural product are amazing, and you just think that's all we're trying to do is say, look, this has worked for so many people that we know for so many years. Hey, listen, just give it a go. If it works, fantastic. Why wouldn't you keep using it? If it doesn't, well, fine. So a few challenges out there kind of getting into mind, but obviously, like you guys, being the lovely people that you are, so giving us the opportunity to talk about this, which is great because once people are educated or informed and can make these informed decisions, potentially it can be life-changing, can't it?
Yeah, and I think that's one of my biggest goals because, as you know, I am a huge advocate for CBD. I love the product, I love the stuff, and I know that it works, and I've done a lot of work within the CBD industry. So, it is changing people's perspectives on CBD and how it is actually going to help them, go into these natural products. And what you're doing is fantastic, and I know you coming from where you've come from and how you started this is not a great story, not for you.
No.
But to come from where you have to where you are now, using the CBD, but not just that, it's learning about it, it's educating people about it, it's changing their perspectives on, on the CBD, and I think that's incredible. I think it's absolutely fantastic what you're doing and what you continue to do within this industry. It's
as
brilliant.
Tone said, it's not been easy, even trying to get it out there because platforms just say, oh no, it's CBD as some pariah. But that's deep rooted, I think. And social media is good in a way because you can't stop this train from coming, I'm afraid. And though they try, stop payments and things, it will get out there, and people will demand to have it. So hopefully, anyway.
I think they'll always try and stop this. They will always try and, stop people from talking about it or selling it. And I think it's because of they know what it can do. There isn't that many studies on CBD. There are quite a few studies that I've actually read up on, but there isn't that many considering, CBD, marijuana, THC, all of this is going thousands of years. There's writings of it in Chinese writing and Egyptology, but there's a few studies throughout the 1980s, the 1990s, and a few more recent studies, but there isn't that many. And that is the toughest thing when it comes to this. That's why people don't know about it, is because it hasn't really been studied as much as what it should be studied, because the things that CBD can help with and what it can actually do to our bodies is absolutely incredible. And topically with skin allergies or skin conditions, it can also help with arthritic joints and
and it's anti-aging as well. It's great for, we have vitamin E in the balm as well. It's great for your skin. It's moisturising. Even simple stuff, hard skin, soles of your feet, those sort of things. It's fantastic for that sort of stuff. And again, it's natural. It's not going to do any harm. But we're getting a lot of traction with enlightened people or like-minded people. So if natural health shops are kind of an obvious place for us to start to get it out there to people. One of the challenges we have with that is if you've got, when you walk into a natural food shop or well-being shop, there's 600 products in there, and again, if the individual in those sort of establishments have got their favourites or something that they're comfortable with, then it will just be the tried and tested. This will work. Here's a powder. Here's a mixture. Whatever it is. So we get more traction with the people that have used it and are advocates. Go, oh my goodness. Or someone's used it and goes into the shops and goes, I want one of those. So that works quite well. Crystal healing shops, funny enough, they work really well. Part of the reason is because there's not massive competition for us in there, is there? If we're in there, there's not a whole load of other products that potentially someone can recommend. But that normally comes about, again, if the proprietors used it or had a result themselves.
But those sort of people that have those shops are very open. Anyway, is that what we find, don't we?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But even stuff, part of our aim and objective is to get into places like spas. And so again, when people go along and they're relaxing, and we've got, as you can see, we've got little sample pots that we're quite happy to give these sample pots to the people that we want to work with, because we absolutely believe in our product. So it's not a question of, look, well, let's have some money from you because we're trying to sell you something. It's, look, have a go. You tell us if it works or not. So some of the spas and retreats is working.
Yeah, and I think it'd be nice to get into some like wellness places.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really good one, like Maggie's, like a cancer.
Yes.
And just to help them. I mean, I've used their facilities, so I know how good they are. So yeah, things like that would be great.
And we're actually talking to someone next week, aren't we?
Yeah.
That exact thing, a cancer treatment place, which is looking to sort of potentially stock the product to help people.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
Which is really good, isn't it?
Yeah, that will be incredible, because one of the things that I've just been looking up on now is, and what I've been reading about, is how CBD, it doesn't cure cancer, but it does have tumour reduction properties in it. So it can help reduce the tumours in your body, but not just that, it can help with the pain, that you get from cancer, the nausea that you can get from chemotherapy, the sickness, but it can also help with your appetite. because when you're going through chemo, you kind of lose your appetite. And one of the studies was CBD and THC combined. The CBD helps with the pain, but the THC can help with your appetite.
Wow.
So it can help you with your weight, because I know that you can lose a lot of weight during chemotherapy or during cancer. You know, I know when I was going through it, I was tiny. I must have been about 8 stone, 7.5 stone. So I was really, really small, and I didn't want to eat. And if I'd known about this back then, you know, I probably would have, because it would have helped my appetite, and it would have helped me to gain the weight more and not keep losing it. But it also would have helped with pain. It would have potentially helped with, you know, reduction of the tumours, and so it would be incredible for you to work with people within.
Yeah, definitely. And even things like the menopause clinics and things that are springing up. I mean, the calm balm and stuff. I mean, the menopause isn't fun. I can attain to that one.
But for us, it's about educating people again, isn't it? And because some of the consultants and doctors, they don't know. Some of them don't know. Some of them aren't allowed to.
They're not trained in it, aren't they?
And even if you ask the question, sometimes they can't turn around and say that's a good idea, or lead you down that path.
Because they'll say, "Oh, there's not enough studies in it," or "I don't know how to react with your pharmaceutical medication." So,
and I think again, this is another area where we have to be particularly careful. Is we can't make claims like you've said about. We know they do these amazing things. But if we start putting those down when we put our website out or
we say it can help with.
Because if not, you have to come under the medical sort of guidelines, you know, which are very stringent and what have you. So we can't make certain claims. So it's all about maybe, perhaps.
Your wording.
That's
potentially.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
Can help with.
So you know, with all those elements going on, sometimes it's a bit tough. But I think for us, we'll keep fighting the good fight, won't we? Because
definitely.
we see the results for people.
Yeah. Keep going. You're doing incredible.
Thank you.
So with you say you launched about a year or so ago, but you've had the product kind of maybe 3-4 years before that. That gives you a great period of time to kind of tweak the product. As you say, do a bit of not direct market research, but the feedback you're getting from the people you're giving the product to has enabled you to make those changes. I mean, that period of time is invaluable, really, isn't it? Because you've kind of perfected what you've got rather than going out to the market with a product and then having to change it all the way through. So how many kind of changes have you done, and do you take every comment on board and think, well, will that work, won't that work?
Well, it's just looking at the properties essentially of the essential oils and what I'm trying to achieve with those. So that's predominantly the difference between the balms, the essential oils, and the amount of CBD in them. So yeah, I swap some essential oils in and out, and it's the smell as well. When I'm cooking, it's just lovely. Everyone, when they open the bag up with the balms in, they go, "Oh my God, this smells lovely." So and again, it's the essential oils. But yeah, that's what that time allowed us to do.
Yeah.
Because originally I started with just the one. So, and it just grew from there, really.
But you were quite a good blackboard, really, weren't you? Because in an unfortunate way, you had various ailments.
Yes.
Which meant that the balms had to be tweaked slightly. Yes. So it was either pain or it was anxiety.
Yeah.
Sleep. Obviously.
Yeah, and Molly with her eczema and stuff.
So
yeah, a number of different things. Yeah, it's just organically sort of become four. So over the time.
I mean, I love the branding. Was that a work in progress as well, or was it just...
No, that we never thought about branding at all until Tone convinced me that we need to get it out to market. Yeah. And the branding's all down to him.
See, with the history, I mean, when we look back on the history, our career's kind of been genuinely sort of helping people. You don't think about it as you go along your little way, do you? But you tumble into things that, it's only when you look back you think. So we had a care company for ages, and the care company, it was all about... The standards were about as if we were looking after our mum and dad or grandma and granddad, and that was our ethos. And it's the same sort of thing with this, isn't it? It's about you know, making it, obviously it was personally for you, for us,
That's right,
family, friends. But
family
because the
and friends.
feedback came back, and I said to Sam, you just can't keep it a secret. This helps people. And if someone wants to utilise it and get a benefit, it's great. If they don't, so you kind of got feedback. But the feedback was mainly, can I have some more? This is good.
Yeah.
And you did the tweaking, didn't you?
Yeah.
And it was only to try and almost, when we were thinking about taking to market, it was really about making it easy for people to understand. Well, why would I have this one over this one?
Yeah.
What's the benefit? And trying to encapsulate every element, because I mean, sport, for example, it's got the word sport in it, but it's for active people. So people walk in or play badminton or squat or even golf or whatever they're doing.
The latest person they've got tendonitis, haven't they?
Yes.
So they're using it on that.
Yes,
so,
tennis elbows, another one.
Anything
sprains.
like that, and you get that with people that play in sports. So,
or even just walking, you know, as you get a bit older, or maybe not sometimes, shin splints. So that sort of thing, it's, well, let's keep people active, let's keep them going, and let's help. So yeah, the feedback and growing it was really, the design was just sitting there and trying to think, it tries to encapsulate the whole nature aspect, everything
and
coming
we do get
together.
good feedback on the design, don't we? People seem to like the designs.
But that's kind of around, look, I don't know about you guys, but most people buy with their eyes, you know, and I certainly do, I'm a very visual person. And CBD is so bland and boring. In fact, when you go into a lot of the wellbeing shops, it's all quite bland and boring, and you think, come on, it doesn't have to be like that. Let's make this.
I think a lot of it is kind of the leaf, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of shops have that leaf, and I think that may be what puts people off, because they automatically associate it with the image of the marijuana leaf.
Yeah, I
think you're right.
Yeah.
Well, yours doesn't. Your logo doesn't. It makes it something completely different. It says, we know it's got CBD in it because it says it's got CBD in it. But the main logo isn't in your face.
No.
That scary symbol that people associate, and you can, maybe it's easier to kind of talk about it and explain what it does and drop in, you know, this is CBD. Yeah. No one looks and goes, oh, cracky CBD, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
I think you're right. And again, even the colours, when you look at the colour shades, if you talk about anxiety or relaxing or calm or sleep or something, you don't want it sort of bright,
and you associate that colour with lavender oil. Well, I do. So
there you go. So again, hopefully you're drawn in a little bit by your eyes, and of course in the point of sale sort of marketing kit, if you like, for retailers, it's designed really for customers
people
or
start
patrons,
asking the questions,
and even with little hints about what they might expect from there. So you're right, the packaging does come into play, and it's not scary, it's not in a bottle, and it's not, you know, at back of an alley stuff, you know, it's all kind of, so it's just out there, it's nice and pleasant, and you can open the box, it's got some nice little positive affirmations in there as well, which is all part of the whole healing kind of journey, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and also the smells, and I mean, they're all incredibly fragrant, aren't they? And just all individual.
Well, and as you know, CBD can be quite pungent, can't it? And quite earthy. And again, if you're putting this on you, well, sometimes why would you want to do that?
You don't want to walk around smelling like a stoner.
Exactly. Or even just go out and get some earth and rub it on. I mean, why would you do that? So if it's going to be on there, it's all part and parcel of the whole element. You know.
So what's the growth plan for this then? I mean, I know it's in its kind of infancy still, and you're probably going to, I say probably, who knows, but it's with most businesses, you kind of plod along for a couple of years and build it up and don't really make some money out of it. Yeah. What's the end plan for this? Is there an end plan, or is it just to get the word out to as many people? Yeah,
I think that's the real aim, isn't it? So
and we're finding if we're going into, say, a town and they've got 3 or 4 maybe crystal or natural health shops and stuff, and we go and see them, whoever says, yes, I'd like to stock this, normally they say, can we just be exclusive in the town? So, and there's plenty of towns out there. So that's what we're doing, and hopefully word of mouth will get round and stuff.
Because you are quite far and wide, aren't you? You're not just Essex based, are you?
No, we're in Nottingham, and where else are we? Hitchin, Hertfordshire. So,
Yes, there's a few bits and bobs. I think it allows itself to grow in a number of different ways, almost organically. So we mentioned earlier about the spas, but of course you've got therapists as well. So if you've got therapists that use balms, whether that's for healing someone, or whether that's for relaxation, or whether that's
even the sports therapists as well.
Well, you know, with the sports, one of the things we'd love to do is get into places like golf clubs, sports centres, and that sort of thing. Because again, you know, it helps if someone's swinging a club and they can just rub this into their wrist or something, or their arm, or. But
will it help your golf swing and improve your?
Definitely.
100%. That's the main reason to get it. That has been tested. That's for sure, that one. No, unfortunately not. But we had a marathon runner, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he swears by it now. He was on. So again, running clubs. There's so many different areas you could go with just that one alone. And then you've got departments. You could go.
You need someone to basically sell it, though, don't you? You need the advocate. Wherever it is.
Is it hard to kind of, you know, when you say when you talk to people that are open to CBD or know of it, use it maybe, it's probably easier to like the crystal places, they're more likely to come on board and sell it. Is it harder to actually do that sell then, like a hard sell rather than a warm sell, whichever way around it is, hard, soft sell? I don't know.
Yeah.
To the people that, if you're walking around shops trying to say, you know, we've got this fantastic product, is it as soon as you say CBD, the barriers come down, or is it take a little bit more of an explanation onto that?
Well, I suppose it's the shops we're picking at the moment that are open to it. They're natural health shops. Some of them say, oh no, CBD, we've got so many products of it. And we try and say, well, it's not a CBD product as such. It's a product for different ailments. It just has CBD, but it's along with lots of other goodies, the essential oils. So we get that response sometimes.
We get late to market, don't we?
Yeah,
CBD
they say, we've got loads of CBD products. But there's CBD products and there's CBD products. There is a lot of, well, I was going to be rude.
Well, weaker. There's products that aren't quite as
punchy as ours. I mean, you see lots in Holland and Barrett. I mean, they've got rows of CBD products. And I think ours does stand out from a lot of them in a number of ways.
But in their box, they'll say it might be 50 milligrams of CBD, or maybe on a strong one, 200. We're talking 1,000
milligrams.
Thing is, with a lot of these other CBD products, I won't mention any names, but they are made to sell. And you can really tell the difference when a product is made to sell and a product is made with love. And it's made with every ounce of you, and you've put everything into that. And you can really tell and feel the difference, you know, between these products. And I know from working in the CBD industry and using CBD myself and using different products, that I can really tell the difference when something is made with love and something is just made because it's made to sell.
I think that's a really good point, and something you alluded to earlier about the feedback and how the product testing as such. I mean, you went through a number of different essential oils to make sure the quality was absolutely there. We did the same with CBD, didn't we? We tried a number of different and we ended
companies,
we import our CBD, don't we? From it, it's really good quality. And you're absolutely right, the ingredients is key. I was 100% key to this, because that's what you put on your skin. So again, sometimes, I mean, we sell for £30 is the recommended retail price on the two with 500 ml, and £35 with 1,000 milligrams. And it's there or thereabouts, but sometimes some of the retailers will say, well, it's a little bit, you know, we've got something else here. But you know, exactly like you say, they haven't got the essential oils in, the quality, the same with the strength of the CBD. So
it's just knowing your worth, isn't it? You know that product is worth £35 all day long, because it's
for the relief it can give someone.
Exactly, the benefits it can give to you.
Yeah, what's that worth? Absolutely.
So how are you finding other forms of advertising? Because obviously you're going around to shops, you obviously on social media, you have the website.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Do you find it hard keeping up with the content? I know we struggle with our own little businesses and trying to keep the social media element up for.
I think for any business, I mean, we touched on this earlier, but I think for any business, you start off with the thing you love. And and the product that it's all about. But then you very quickly realise that's almost irrelevant. That's kind of such a small part of the business, because it does come down to marketing, accountancy, social media, that talks to people, cold calling, getting out there, getting your car, all those things, design, writing stuff. The whole gambit is huge, and of course cost.
Yeah.
Because you have to go first. The stuff doesn't appear, does it? From the design through to actually getting the prototypes done, and then getting
it's
these.
a lot of investment, isn't it?
A lot of investment. The ingredients, the time, which a lot of people don't cost in. Your own time and your own worth.
Because what you think is going to take an hour takes 4.
Absolutely. So you've got all those elements come into play, and then you can have the best product in the world that's sitting there, in our case in the house, going, okay, good job.
Well done.
But so then you have to take exit. And what do you do? So there is a combination. Everyone talks about social media, and I mean, you guys are fab at it. I mean, we see your stuff, and it's great. We're kind of noobs when it comes to that. We do the basics: Instagram, Facebook. We get something out there.
As
so
you
there's
say,
a constant.
with the CBD, we are
Have to be careful. We can be factual, and we put some lists together. AI now plays quite a big part in what people are doing, and it's a godsend as far as we're concerned, with some of the time savings that you can make on that. It still has to be pertinent, relevant, and directed, but that helps. So there's all those things. We have TikTok, we have a Facebook, we have even YouTube, but even doing the videos, how to do them, what to do, what content you do, how that comes across.
It's evolving all the time, isn't it? And
That's
I am a technophobe, so that is
all the
completely...
algorithms change, and then the Facebook, they'll change what you can and what you can't post, and they'll move it all around. It's every kind of 3-6 months or whatever, and you think, I've just got used to this.
Well, so
you have worked out how to do it, and it's bloody changed.
So ultimately, our strategy was really quite simple. We thought we could have a table or a market stall, and anyone that walks past potentially might buy this. But then we thought, well, let's go to the people that actually are immersed in this kind of stuff. So you're back to the crystal shops, the well-being shops, the natural shops, the independents that can make decisions, and let's approach them. So it's really right back to basics, which is either, for want of a better term, a cold call, where you're phoning these people up cold. You know they're being approached by people all the time, and hopefully you get that 5-minute elevator pitch.
And do you research? I mean, say if you wanted to go to, the only blooming town that comes to my head is Grimsby. I do apologise. But if you go to Grimsby, or that you're up in the area, say you're on a weekend break, you think, well, while we're up here, we'll do you research the shops that you want to find, or just park up and have a little stroll around the town?
Well, we do both, actually. So, for example, Hitchin's a great example on that. We researched, found the main shop, the health wellbeing shop, and approached them and basically said, look, if you've got 5 minutes, we're passing, we'd love to pop in and just tell you our story, get you to have a look at the product. And ultimately, if it helps you to help your customers, is it worth 5 minutes? And we got a yes. When we got there, it was not really. But one person in that shop, who was absolutely adorable, said, look, there's 3 other places in the town you might want to go and see. Gave us the heads up. And so we literally just went door knocking.
Yeah.
Well, that's essentially how we met.
It was, that's right.
You called me,
that's right.
We got talking, and I got to know you and your products, and here we are a year later.
And I think that's for your listeners or viewers or people that are looking to start their business. There are no easy ways of doing it, and you've got to have a tough skin, haven't you? You've got to make those phone calls or go and see those people, and you've got to accept that you'll get a no. It's almost, if you get a yes, that's
you've got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable if you're setting your own business up.
Yeah. So my philosophy really is give people the opportunity to say no. And if they say no, that's absolutely fine, but at least they've had the opportunity to say that no. If you haven't asked them in the first place, they can't even give you that no.
No.
And occasionally you'll get a yes.
Yeah, I've said no. you made me say no straight away.
And occasionally you'll get a yes, and that's fantastic.
Yeah. So before we wrap this up, we always ask if there's any kind of tips or advice you could give other people who are thinking, they might have a little side hustle or they're thinking of starting up a little business. What advice could you give them based on your experience over the kind of year that you've been going and the 3 years, 4 years previous to that?
Okay, mine would be don't give up the day job until you have got some traction with what you want to do, because it's a long time sometimes before you're going to make any money.
For sure.
And you've got to invest in it to start with. So you've got to have money to do that. So that would be what I'd say.
That's good. That's good advice. I'd say Nike have it right where they say just do it. I say, so whatever's in your mind, just
do it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
But keep the day job.
Keep the day job, but keep going. Keep going, because I think too many people, after 6 months or 3 months go.
Yeah. Well, look at Walt Disney. I mean, how many times was he turned down?
Yeah, bankrupt 8 times, so wasn't he? Turned down a million times, whatever.
But I think it is remaining consistent and not giving up, because you hit so many challenges. Not all of them you know how to overcome.
No.
So it is the kind of, right, okay, it's another hurdle I've got to get over.
Yeah.
And so you're either going to get over that hurdle or just go, do you know what? I'm going to give up.
And that's why it's keep going.
That's why you've got to keep going.
Keep
right?
going. Yeah, and I think sometimes at your lowest ebb, you think we're doing all this stuff. It looks good, it works, we're doing all the right things and nothing's happening. Sometimes that's when someone
get a little break.
You'll phone and say, look, we'd love to do a podcast. You go, oh my God, there's a light there. Or someone phone said, you left a sample. We'd love to get you over. You go, oh my goodness, this is it's worth doing. If I hadn't have done that, if we hadn't spoken to you, the other stuff. So nothing's neutral. Everything you do will have some sort of a ripple effect, which
every action has a reaction, right?
There you go.
Perfect. And before we finally wrap it up, just take this opportunity to plug your website and where people can find you.
Okay, well, it's www.thehumbleherb.com. So it's pretty simple, thehumbleherb.com. And again, we're on all the social medias, and there's links to the websites from there. Or if you go onto the website first, there's links to the
stockists, isn't there?
Yeah, we've got. Yeah, so if you like to feel in touch and see, we're expanding those, not as quickly as we'd like to, but obviously it's a snowball effect. Yeah. So once we do get some traction, people will be ringing us and saying, we want to stock your product.
That's the
Well, you can be an associate, can't you?
Well, that's worth mentioning as well. Yeah, we do have an affiliate. We were asked about that from some people that are dealing with different associations and different clubs and therapies. And they basically said, is there anything we can do? So yeah, there is actually an affiliate program we run where people can literally sign up for nothing and pull down a little banner or picture or an image, depending on which one they like, stick it on their Facebook, Insta, website, and anyone that comes through on their link, they get a commission for, because again, it's about getting it out there and helping people. And if everyone helps us do that, well, everyone should get rewarded for that. So
perfect. Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. It's been amazing to be here with you again.
Thank you.
You guys are so nice. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.